In this video, I'm gonna talk about the keto diet for vegetarians. A vegetarian keto diet is an option for someone who doesn't eat any meat or fish and wants to avoid sugar and starches. This video is a complete vegetarian keto for beginners guide, where I'll explain what foods to eat and what foods to avoid, with a deeper look into the best vegetarian keto protein sources. I'll give you a few vegetarian keto diet tips and some vegetarian keto meal ideas. Make sure you watch this video until the end to not miss anything out. By the way, if you're new to my YouTube channel, my name is Greta and I'm a low-carb keto nutritionist and a health coach. I share health-related videos every week, so if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. What are the rules of a vegetarian keto diet? You don't eat meat, fish, sugar, and starch. It might sound restrictive at first. However, there are plenty of healthy vegetarian keto foods that you can have. I'll get to the specific vegetarian keto foods in a minute. So first, you have to limit your daily carb intake to no more than 50 grams of carbs a day. You will see some other sources recommending to lower your daily carbs to 20 grams of carbs a day, which would ultimately lead to avoiding low-carb keto vegetables and other foods that are totally fine on a low-carb keto diet. An important thing to mention, in different countries, you will have different nutrition labeling regulations. For example, in the UK, you should stick with 50 grams of carbs a day. You don't need to do any additional calculations. And if you're in the US, you should stick with the same 50 grams of net carbs a day. Net carbs are basically total carbs minus the fiber and some sugar alcohols. Each sugar alcohol is different. The next rule to follow when starting out with the vegetarian keto diet is having the right amount of protein and eating the right types of protein. So first, what is the right amount? Your protein intake will depend on your body weight and activity level. Around 20% of your daily calories should come from protein. What does that look like? An average person needs 0.8 grams of protein daily per kilogram of body weight, or 0.36 grams per pound. If you're an average male, you weigh 75 kilograms and you don't do any intense workouts, you're moderately active, your daily protein needs would be around 60 grams of protein a day. And your protein sources should be complete. Compared to animal-based proteins, most plant proteins have reduced digestibility and bioavailability. Even if the nutritional label shows that a product has a high amount of protein, it doesn't always mean we are able to digest and absorb 100% of it. Eating a variety of different protein sources daily will provide you with a complete amino acid profile. From plant-based protein sources, soy is the best in terms of quantity, amino acid profile, and bioavailability. Just keep in mind that not all soy is created equal. We have organic soy, and we have GMO soy, and we have unfermented soy and fermented soy. These are very different. If you're in the US, most soy is genetically modified. If you're in Europe, the only way GMO soy would get into your food is through conventional animal products. I recommend staying away from GMOs at all costs. I have another video where I explain why is it a good idea to avoid GMOs. You can check it out after. Also, check out the reference list in the description of this video. You should choose organic fermented soy products, such as organic tofu and tempeh. Keep in mind that most tofu is actually unfermented, but it is soaked, which still reduces the amount of antinutrients and makes it more bioavailable. Another option, you can buy tofu and ferment it yourself, or buy tofu that is already fermented. And you should stay away from genetically modified or unfermented soy. You find unfermented soy in all the different protein powders, health bars, soy milk, and fake meat products. If you see soy protein isolate on food or supplement label, I would advise you to not buy this product. Why is unfermented soy bad for you? It is loaded with antinutrients. Unfermented soy contains enzymes that block protein absorption. It also contains phytic acid that blocks mineral absorption. So it's a good example of a food that seems very nutritious when you look at the food label, but you're not actually getting the benefits. If you eat fermented soy, you're overcoming these issues. It becomes more bioavailable. In addition, unfermented soy also messes up with your hormones if you consume high amounts of it. It is very estrogenic. Soy is unique in that it contains a high concentration of isoflavones, a type of plant estrogen that is similar in function to human estrogen, but with much weaker effects. These molecules can bind to estrogen receptors in the body and cause either weak estrogenic or anti-estrogenic effects. Excess estrogen from soy can increase your cancer risk, but again, some studies show it increases your risk, some show it decreases your risk. It seems that it varies from person to person. Okay, enough about soy. These are the best vegetarian keto protein sources. Organic tempeh, with around 20 grams of protein per 100 grams. It has a high protein quality score of 0.91, with the maximum score being 1. This scoring system is used for evaluating the quality of a protein based on both the amino acid requirements of humans and their ability to digest it. Then next, we have hemp seeds with 32 grams of protein per 100 grams, with a protein quality score of 0.61, meaning it is lower quality protein, but still worth including in your vegetarian keto diet. Then next, organic tofu, around 12 grams of protein, protein quality score 0.91. Pea protein, around 60 grams of protein, quality score 0.73, also not as good as tempeh. Then organic eggs, 13 grams of protein per 100 grams, and the maximum protein quality score, meaning you should eat more eggs. Then next, grass-fed cheese. If possible, try to consume only A2 type casein, which is easier to digest and is less inflammatory. You can get A2 type casein dairy by choosing French or Swiss cheese. Cheese like feta will have only 14 grams of protein, while cheese such as Parmesan will have 38 grams of protein. On average, cheese would have around 25 grams of protein. And the last one is chia seeds. It has 17 grams of protein per 100 grams, and the quality score is 0.48, so it's not the best. And you would not be having 100 grams of chia seeds, but it's a small addition to your daily protein amount. There are some other protein sources that you can have, but your main ones should be eggs, cheese, tempeh, and tofu, unless you're allergic to eggs, dairy, and soy. Then let's look at the best low-carb keto vegetables. You should aim for 7 to 10 cups of non-starchy vegetables a day. They'll have up to 5 grams of carbs per 100 grams, or 5 grams of net carbs per 100 grams. So the best low-carb keto vegetables include cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, asparagus, kale, olives, and avocados. These are called fruits, but I call them vegetables. Then aubergine, courgette, lettuce, tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumber, green beans, celery, radish, and colettes. Then next, very important, the best keto fats. When following a vegetarian keto diet, make sure you consume only the highest quality fats and avoid vegetable oils at any cost. These are very inflammatory. Stick with organic extra virgin coconut oil, grass-fed butter. If possible, butter should also be A2 type casein, meaning it should be from France or Switzerland. And if you're lactose intolerant, you could use grass-fed ghee instead of butter. Ghee is simply a purified butter. Then extra virgin olive oil. You should always add it to your salads. And the last one is avocado oil. All of these are great vegetarian keto fat options. Then next, the best keto drinks. Water, sparkling water, black coffee, various types of teas, and keto coffee, which is coffee with coconut oil and butter. The rule is to drink when you're thirsty. Avoid any diet sodas with artificial sweeteners. These are unhealthy. They alter your microbiome, increase your risk of cancer and diabetes. Then next, the best keto sweeteners. Organic stevia, liquid or powder. I personally use liquid because it's much easier to dose it. Then monk fruit extract is just as good as stevia when it's pure and not mixed with anything else. Stevia and monk fruit extract are both natural sweeteners that are proven to be safe. They don't spike blood glucose or insulin. However, they are not good for baking, and you should use erythritol instead. Erythritol is a sugar alcohol that does not affect your blood glucose or insulin, and it is also considered safe. However, it's important to note that some people may experience digestive issues. I would recommend using stevia as your main keto sweetener. I will link a few good sweetener brands in the description of this video. Next, the best keto nuts. Pecans, Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts, walnuts, and hazelnuts. They have 4 to 7 grams of carbs per 100 grams. They also have healthy fat, some protein, and fiber. You should definitely include some nuts in your vegetarian keto diet. Next, we have the best keto fruits. These include raspberry, blackberry, strawberry, blueberry, lemon, lime, coconut, rhubarb, currants, cranberries, and lingonberries. Yes, some of these fruits have slightly higher amounts of carbs, but I would advise you to not exclude them from your keto diet. They all have amazing health benefits. These low-carb keto fruits will provide you with various vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that can only make you healthier. And foods to avoid include bread, rice, pizza, pasta, potatoes, lentils, chickpeas, beans, quinoa, high-sugar fruits such as pineapples, mangoes, oranges, then sugar, honey, sweets, sodas, fake meat, soy milk, and vegetable oils. Now, before you start your vegetarian keto diet, here are some of my vegetarian keto meal ideas. I'm not vegetarian myself, but I do cook some vegetarian meals. A vegetarian keto salad with mixed salad leaves, a handful of walnuts, yellow bell pepper, extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, and marinated organic tofu, baked in the oven. I marinated it with turmeric, herbs, salt, pepper, and garlic. Another meal idea, steamed broccoli with boiled eggs and extra butter. Or some tempeh salad with avocado and orange bell pepper. These are very easy vegetarian keto meal ideas. If you need more guidance and meal ideas, I also work with clients online and help them to start a low-carb keto diet correctly. You can learn more about my personalized keto plans by checking out the link in the description of my video. I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also support my YouTube channel by buying me a coffee or signing up for my Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.